This is the basement in the house where I grew up. And this is that basement now. I think nostalgia is actually two experiences at once. It's remembering what the past was like, and it's being a different person in the present. There's a tension there that makes the emotion so appealing and interesting to us. It's loss without grief. But nostalgia is a very individual thing. It's tied to your specific memories. So when an artist wants to explore those ideas, they have to find a way to take them somewhere just specific enough that it feels genuine, and just vague enough that their audience can relate. They have to find a way to Somewhere City. Somewhere City is the first full-length album from Origami Angel, and it's an album I never would have found on my own. I'm not saying this album is super obscure or whatever. I'm just really, really bad at listening to music. I'm one of those kind of guys what has an endless stream of video essays and let's plays on to level up my parasocial friendships while I do the dishes. It all started when I saw this tweet from my parasocial bestie editing idol Pepto Griswold. Shoutouts to him for this video existing. He called it an invitation to a place to express your sadness and eat McNuggets with your new best friends. Since then, Somewhere City has become my own personal bite of 87, in that it has a complete death grip on my frontal lobe. Origami Angel's sound is a kind of emo that resonates deeply with me as a former alt kid. I wasn't that alt, but this is a town where Toby Keith's Red Solo Cup is a canonical text, so listening to Green Day was already pushing it. My idea of cool was defined by my dad and my brother, so my iPod Nano was stuffed full of Yellowcard and Weezer, Foo Fighters and The Beautiful South. But these aren't teenage angst alt kid songs. This is nostalgia. Get it? Do you get it? Do you get it? Do you get it? Somewhere City begins with Welcome To, a track that outlines under exactly what conditions you should ideally be listening to this album. These are songs for when you feel lost, like you're drifting through a world that cares as little about you as you do about it. Some days when the color has drained from your eyes, you just need a place to stop drifting and touch the ground. Your sanctuary is in Somewhere City. I moved out of my hometown just over 2 years ago, after graduating from the college my dad drove past every day when he took me to elementary school. When you're a teenager in a city like this, a lot of your formative memories somehow involve fast food. And it makes sense. Deciding where to go and what to eat are two real big boy kind of decisions you weren't able to make for yourself until now. There's a train track that runs past the Burger King in town. Most of my life I heard trains rumbling by, honking their horns late at night while I was trying to fall asleep. Track 2 of Somewhere City, 24-hour drive-through, hit me like one of those trains. My first time listening, I liked the first track. But this is the one that told me I was in for something special. Pitchfork's review of Somewhere City criticized the album for being too upbeat and hopeful. The review ends by saying the band would be wise to explore the darkness on the edge of town, a line I would make fun of for being cute if I wasn't guilty of the same sin 20 times over. I think Mr. John Pitchfork didn't understand the central conceit of Somewhere City. You live on the edge of town. The album is so hopeful and upbeat because it's made for someone coming in, looking for everything to feel okay for 30 minutes. Every song has at least a couple lines about how you, the listener, might not be doing so well. So, they're taking you back to when cheap hamburgers could fix all your problems. One of the first videos I uploaded to this channel was me and my friends trying to eat 100 chicken McNuggets because I thought it would be funny. We all failed. I ended up polishing off room temperature nuggets about 6 hours after filming and deciding that technically I kind of won. This song doesn't take me back to that day. It takes me right where I am now, outside that same McDonald's, remembering the drive here after cross-country practice. It takes me to a random moment miles away from here, walking my dog and remembering the days at the river back east. Not just here, but for the entire album. The lyrics aren't talking to a friend that they hang out with all the time. These are songs for someone you haven't seen in a while. Maybe someone who really doesn't even exist anymore. In the loosest possible sense, this is a review. And in the loosest possible sense, I am a critic. So I should be honest about something. Nostalgia is a very individual thing. It's tied to my specific memories. This album was, in fact, directly poised to hit my childhood in the jugular. If Commit This to Memory was not as foundational an album to me as it was, maybe I wouldn't like this as much. If I had more than just a Burger King in town, maybe I wouldn't have made this video at all. If I didn't have friends willing to hang out with me when I was feeling down, maybe I wouldn't be here at all. But that's the beauty of Somewhere City. The two people behind this album, in all likelihood, don't even know that my town exists. Most people in my own state don't know that my town exists. But they know what it's like to be the friend at home alone, and to be the friend that comes to pick them up. And yeah, it's not universally applicable, and yes, it's kind of unsettling that the extension of brand to all corners of the country has homogenized life in small towns across America, but that's not what any of this is about. As much as I love this album, I'm glad I didn't find it until now. Like I said, I didn't move out of my hometown until 2 years ago. When I flew here last Christmas, for the first time, it didn't feel like coming home. It felt like seeing my first grade teacher in the supermarket. It's a place that knows who I was, but not who I am. The rivers and waterfalls are the same, but they feel smaller. This isn't an album for a teenager. This is for me, a 26-year-old remembering what it was like being a teenager. Without that distance, I don't think I could really appreciate any of this. Track 4, Dr. Whomst, could be the thesis of the album's message. It talks about feeling like how you felt when you were a kid. Not because you are a kid again, but because you've made progress in the present. That's what Somewhere City is for. That's what my trips home are for. That's what nostalgia is for. If you live in the past, your present will never change. If your life is spent chasing nostalgia, you will never find it. You can't remember days that aren't gone. But occasional nostalgia is useful. It can help you recognize who you are, the parts of you that have always been inside and been worth loving. Take your present to your past and use it to find your future. Not all memories are good. There are the great summer nights I remember, and there are a lot of weekends that I don't. There are the nights when I felt alone because I was alone. I have a memory just as clear as any of the good nights about the week leading up to my high school graduation. I had just gone through a rough breakup and a surgery to fix a shoulder injury that cut my senior swim season short. It was just me and the post-surgery painkillers. Nobody came to pick me up. But when I come back to the house where I blurred those pointless days into sleepless nights, I don't think about that. At least not immediately. There are lots of roads to take into town. I consider myself lucky that the sunlit ones are better traveled. If I were to really try, I could hop in the car and take you on a sadness tour of all my angstiest locales and worst memories. But that's not what this album is about, is it? That's what sets Somewhere City apart from the angst rock of my youth. Those songs were what I needed at the time, an outlet for anger and sadness. But if I were an adult still getting angry over the same things, that would be sad. Origami Angel acknowledges those feelings, those lonely nights, but as part of the bigger statement that you've learned from that, you've grown, and you can get better. Somewhere City ends with an amazing, fast-paced, overlapping reprise of every song before it, building and building until suddenly it stops. Before you know it, you're back on the edge of town. You weren't meant to stay long. You shouldn't. You can't. You came through, saw whoever was still around to see, And now it's time to go fix the problems that took you here. I'm not sure I'd really call either of the places I'm driving between home. At least not yet. I still have a lot to figure out in my life. But I know that whenever I need it, there's a place apart from time and space where the Sprite is always flowing and the basement is always full of friends. As the reprise peters out, it fades into the riff that started the whole album. The whole album is one perfect loop. Because Somewhere City never changes. It's always just how you remember it. You can never stay, but you can always visit.
There's just something